Superman has just arrived on Earth 2 declaring that he works for Darkseid. Can the new Wonder stand against him? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand, then review it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. On this world, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman have all died pushing Darkseid off of their planet. New heroes rose up: Green Lantern, The Flash, Dr. Fate, and Hawkgirl. They formed the New Wonders, and then a new Batman arrived. Steppenwolf was just defeated as he was trying to conquer the planet himself, but Darkseid's newest follower, Superman, is the one who did it. All hail Darkseid! Superman calls from the battlefield after he just split the planet open by defeating one of the new gods. The greatest hero thought dead has now returned as a herald of one of the greatest evils. He rockets around the battlefield, dropping any who might oppose him. Meanwhile, deep in the World Army Arkham base, right underneath Superman, General Lane has just downloaded a program into the new Red Tornado, the brain scans of his daughter, Lois Lane. On the battlefield, Superman is literally ripping people in half, and the World Army calls for a full retreat. They are not prepared to fight against Superman. Meanwhile, back in a separate part of the World Army underground Arkham base, Batman has arrived in a smoke bomb ready to accomplish his own mission. Back on the battlefield, Khalid knows that he needs to try and stop Superman as Dr. Fate, but once he steps up to Superman, Superman grabs him and throws him into the ground, crushing the base beneath them before stomping on Khalid's head, shouting, "No more magic!" Luckily, the Flash runs in and grabs Khalid before Superman can kill him. Superman hit Dr. Fate so hard that he cracked the helmet of fate, and Khalid is losing his sanity fast. Back in the underground base, it has crumbled underneath the weight of Superman throwing Dr. Fate into it, and Lois in her new body is trying to find her father as he is now buried in the rubble. She then holds him in her arms as he passes on. Over with Batman, he has entered into the main chamber of the facility that he's in, the holding facility for all of the villains that the World Army has captured, all the powered individuals. Back with Superman, Flash throws a rock at his head, and he realizes that he probably could have thought this out better. Deep down in the Arkham tunnels, Lois tackles Batman and asks him what he's doing. And did he beat up the guards outside of the door? He then grabs her robotic hand and snaps it, pushing her to the ground. She can only ask, "How? What happened to you, Bruce?" And Batman stops. "Bruce?" Using that chance, Major Sato, one of the World Army soldiers, shoots Batman in the head, and Lois turns around asking, "What's going on?" They both look back at Batman's body, and he's gone, and he's opening one of the cells. Major Sato tells him to stop. Does he even know what she's capable of? And the woman in the chamber grabs Batman by the throat. It is Aquawoman, Queen of the Seas, and Batman tells her that they are her friends. Meanwhile, the Flash is leading Superman on a chase around the world to get him away from the battlefield and the World Army's Arkham base. He's trying to allow them to retreat. Flash is faster than Superman, but Superman now has Omega beams that hit Flash in the back, allowing Superman to catch him. Upside down, the Flash asks him, "What happened to you? I have your poster on my wall." "Always nice to meet a fan," Superman tells him, and then he breaks the Flash's ankle. While this is happening, Dodson, Mr. Terrific, and Terry Sloan and the rest of the World Army are saving who they can from the crumbled part of the Arkham facility as Superman comes back to them holding the Flash upside down. "Sloan and Mr. Terrific, Darkseid has a use for you. You see, you two are the smartest individuals on this planet." Meanwhile, Batman is freeing more individuals from their chambers in the Arkham facility a few doors away. Now that he has Aquawoman, he frees Jimmy Olsen, a kid that can access any information network with his mind. After simply giving him a cell phone, he has the entire world's bank of knowledge in his head. And he tells everyone that Superman is back, and he's kind of a douche now. Oh, and there are parademons back also, and they're rising out of the fire pits that Superman just made. It's a full-blown secondary apocalypse invasion. But before they can leave the chamber, Batman says that he came for one more person. He begins to walk over to the Joker's cell, but he is stopped by Major Sato. "You can't free the Joker." Batman takes the Major's gun and then shoots the Joker in the head in his chamber. "Didn't say I was going to release him. We can go now." But before they can go, Jimmy says that he's accessed this facility and there is one more person that they should probably get below them. Major Sato says that that can't be right. They are on the lowest level. But Jimmy says no, there is a further basement. Aquawoman smashes the ground, breaking open a hole, and the whole team drops down one more level to find a giant vault containing a young African-American male. Meanwhile, Superman flies Mr. Terrific, Terry Sloan, and the Flash to the White House, where he drops them down in front of it. He then grabs the Washington Monument and he smashes the White House. Everyone nearby begins to flee in terror, but back in the deep underground, we may finally have a hope. The kid's name is Val. And once he falls to the ground in pain, Batman knows what this is. The kid is Kryptonian because Batman has kryptonite around his neck. Over in front of the White House, Superman begins to make a speech. Apocalypse is dying. The gods have outlived their planet, but a new apocalypse will be born, and your planet will be readied. Rejoice! You have all been chosen. All hail Darkseid! While he gives his speech, Bedlam explains to Mr. Terrific and Terry Sloan what their purpose is. They will make a boom tube large enough for the entire planet, and it will be moved to Apocalypse's space. Meanwhile, Batman, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, Major Sato, Aquawoman, and Val all make a break for the exit where Hawkgirl is waiting to airlift them out, and Lois uses her red tornado powers to lift everyone else out. The world is ending around them, but they aren't near defeated yet. As they make their escape, various parademons begin to chase them, but once they fly into the clouds, Aquawoman drops down and drowns the parademons by controlling the water in the clouds. They all make their way to the Batcave where Batman sees Hawkgirl grabbed a few other survivors, the now insane Khalid, who should be Dr. Fate, and Red Arrow, Connor Hawke. It's at this time that they also realize Val has never left his home, and he's currently having a panic attack. But regardless of all of this, Batman tells everyone that they need a plan. Because back on the surface, Superman is having the Parademon army destroy every religious monument and building in the world. The people of Earth will now only worship Darkseid. There is only Darkseid. Back in the Batcave, Lois is trying to convince Val to fight with them. He is Kryptonian, and he is their only chance. It takes a little convincing, because he's having panic attacks every time that he considers leaving, but she does convince him to step out into the world. Batman opens the doors to his Batcave to allow their new weapon to charge up with the yellow sun. But you might be wondering, who is this Batman? Well, he does explain it to everyone there. He is Thomas Wayne. He didn't die in the alley that night, he survived. And since he is a well-known surgeon with people trying to kill him, he went into hiding and he had the hospital fake his death. He then started a life of small-time crimes and drug addiction until Bruce found him. Furious that his father returned to a life of revenge on the man who killed Martha Wayne, instead of having a life with Bruce, he left his father there. But once Bruce sacrificed himself to stop Darkseid the first time, Thomas Wayne decided to honor his memory by becoming Batman. He does rely on his drugs to give him strength to continue though. He is a 60-year-old man. So we now have a new Kryptonian, a drug-addicted Batman, a robotic Lois Lane, Aquawoman, and a technology-bound Jimmy Olsen to add to the roster. This is going to get interesting. I'll see you next Thursday for the next volume of Earth 2.